morning, all you devils. Here we go. Happy Friday. Okay, it's going to keep this one short and sweet. There's just not a lot in crypto that looks particularly attractive. So I'll maybe look at 3 coins here, a couple of majors. Of course, we'll start with Bitcoin. Not much to do here, right? We're just kind of stuck in the mud. Oh, let's see. I'm on a daily here. There's 2 potential paths here. It is, you got your Elliott hat on. So to what we could be doing. Let's just draw it out here. If indeed we've completed the one here, right, which is debatable, and we're looking for some sort of a correction, it looks like we could possibly do an A, B. Now, we could be done here. We could do it through an ABC through this impulsive move if we saw that sell-off last week. Could be, but God, the launch here is just pretty butt ugly. Now, the alternative to that is very bearish, right? Well, I mean, relatively speaking, the alternative would be that we've done 1, we've done 2, and we have yet 3, 4, and 5 to go, which would put us well under 100K. Any other asset but Bitcoin, that would be my primary account. Now, Bitcoin, certainly there is so much macro background that's bullish for crypto. Very hard to be bearish, but that can be misleading in that if everybody's bullish, right, it tends to be the market will sell off to clear out liquidity. Now, we had the massive drop. I can't remember how many days ago, but where liquidity just got absolutely destroyed. Alts got destroyed. Most of the alts have still not recovered technically. You just have that massive wick. I want to say it was 8, 9, 10 days ago. Destroyed a lot of people. And the technical, it's hard to read the technicals now because you have that massive wick. Now, there are a few that came through that a little better than others. So, again, my premise here is that boy, this would be, so I'm on a daily here. Let's go down to 2 hours, see, any bullish bias here. How are you going to do it? Well, you'd have to essentially be looking at a leading diag here, and then it's a very unusual A, B going into a C with invalidation down here. So you'd be looking for an ABC diag, get us out of here. Right, it's hard to bet against Bitcoin, but that said, I don't see any reason to be a buyer here yet. You're going to have to wait to see. Well, you'll note here, now I'm down to a 2 hour, we're just sitting between value area high and value area low, so we're really just kind of stuck here. Seasonality is friendly. Again, the macro backdrop, everything that could be friendly to Bitcoin is happening. So long term, no question, we want to stay bullish. Short term, this is not pretty. It's just not, right? It's just, could we be going golden zone here? Well, we know, let's go to an 8 here. Bitcoin loves it. I'd put us down 94. All I can say is even though you look at that and go, oh my God, we're going to break 100. My view, again, this is my opinion, take it only as that if we were to head down here and break 100, I'd be looking for as much capital to invest as I could, responsibly. I should add that. Could we be coming down here? Well, we certainly could. I've got a couple of here. If we break this low, bears are in control because if we break that, then this will be the next target, then the golden zone. So if we start to cascade down here, it potentially gets a bit more ugly. But then you have to ask yourself, are we not just setting up potentially, if we get a low down here, maybe we break the golden, we certainly could. If we get some sort of reaction, then that's where you get very long. But it's not there yet, right? That's just a forecast based on my own bias, right? Now, of course, technically, we can see a path to getting that done. To be done here would surprise me, but then, of course, Bitcoin surprises all the time. So that's just not what you'd hope to see come off of that. So I'm reluctantly just holding my ammo here. So I've got plenty of dry powder should we get down lower. Should we come to challenge some of these pivots, I will be buying aggressively. That's me. All right? That's not financial advice. That's just what I see here should we come down here and get into some of this territory. Now, first thing, let's see, are we going to break out of the range here? I'm drawing from this low. If we start to push lower and build some spend some time and some volume down here, you're going to see this expand, of course. And now, of course, I could, now just for the reference here, hang on. I just changed it, and I just went from this low, right? It doesn't change it much because all of this went so quickly. So the difference from pulling from here to pulling from here in terms of where value is almost non-existent, right? We're still at the low end of the value. So we're just kind of stuck, right? So nothing to do. That's not a bad thing, right? No trade is a trading decision. And my suggestion would be until we get some sort of bullish movement out of here, we come out of here aggressively and then maybe on a retrace. Until then, just keep your powder dry. Now, that said, on Bitcoin, ETH is where I do think there's an opportunity. So let me get over here. This is the only thing that I can recommend. Oh, hang on a sec. Here, now open this up. Now I'm on crypto, so this is the aggregator, so I can't pull a volume profile on this one. Just happened to be where I had the work done. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about as good as I've seen. Anything where you might have any sort of a bullish entry. It's a little funky here in terms of. Oh, let's get that out of here. This is 100%, right? Because I was a little challenged by this count here. I went to my team of wizards, and this is from Sensei PK, right? One of this. I got four level 3 Elliottians that work on my team, right? These guys are so good, and he came up with this, and I think this is very clever. That we've gone A, then we went into an A, an expanded B into a C, so we get our B here, and then we came straight down for the C. So it's A, B, C. This is clearly an impulse. Now, we get 5 up. Now, this is, again, much like all of crypto. It's a bit of a chop fest in here. Note where we are between the 23 and the 38. I'm just looking at that going, okay, if I'm, as an entry possible, let's pull from the low here. You're getting wicks going through the golden zone, but you're seeing no close below. So, candidate, right? But I wouldn't. This is just me, right? So if we got a push here, I'd want to see a good looking 5 come out of that. Right now, I've got a little squirt, and then just we consolidate, right? It's wrestling with that fair value gap. I'd like to see something more like this come out of here, and then I'd look for the retrace, right? Something like that, right? Maybe in line with that channel to get, confirm it, so we can get some conviction into the idea that the low is in, because this is. We go up quickly, and then the length of time of that 2 would cause you to pause just a bit. So I would want that confirm out of here. Give me a clean 5. Could be a diag. Just give me a clean 5. And then I'll look for the retrace and then try and get into that 3rd. So I think while this is potentially, you could be a buyer in here. If you're jonesing for a trade, might nibble a little bit here. I would keep the size very modest. You could put your stop underneath this low. That might, if that's too much for you, just put it under this pivot here. And then you're going to get, it's not a bad return. If we're going to go up and get that wave 3, that would be, I've got a target of 7,000 to 7,200. If we were going to go 1, 2, 3, well, let's see if I draw it. 3, 4, 5 to get out of here. Now, the question would be, what would we be topping? Pretty good looking finish. That would be a good looking wave. It's in a way, right? If you see that here, if we get to 7,000, well, Happy New Year. But it would the implication would be we're setting up a deeper retracement, right? If we're going to complete an impulse here. Now, of course, it could be 1, 2, and we're going to have an extension in the 5th, but that's a bit of hopium. So as it sits here right now, ETH is the one I'd be watching most closely. And if it starts to go, perhaps it starts to pull some of the alts with it that will start to look better. But I wouldn't be counting on an extension in the 5th, right? I mean, what you'd have here would be such a good-looking completed impulse. I'd be anticipating the next retrace. But this is the one I think you could watch most closely here for potential entry. The only one, and I went through a lot here before I started today, looking for something to give you in crypto, right? Solana and SUI, same thing. They look like crap until we get some movement out of there. The only one that maybe had a candidate here is Cardano. Now, I had to change this count a couple of times. Again, my wizards correct me. An error that I make often in a combo, in a sideways combo, we can't have 2 zigzags. So that's when they catch me on all the time. So you'd have to do this as an ABC into a W, ABC into an X. Now, the impulse going in here, it's a little. Is this a little bit of a wishful thinking? Okay, right. Well, so looking at the balance between the two, that's not ideal. It certainly could be that you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to have something much deeper, but I don't think we need to go there just yet. So I'd be looking here now, time to buy. You do have a little sweep of liquidity there, which is a positive, right? That's what you would want to look for. At any pivot, right? Did they sweep liquidity and grab the stops? Again, it would be too soon to make that call. You'd want to see at least break some of this. You got a big fair value gap here. I'd want to see something aggressive come through out of here, and then maybe I'd look for the retrace if I can get something in here to work from. So watching, right? There's only two that are really ripe, that are close, right? That are look like they could be contenders. Would be somewhere in here between the 50 and the golden zone here. You can, of course, better risk reward if it comes to golden. To be looking to get long here in Cardano, and then ETH, right? Bitcoin's not yet. Now, of course, now Bitcoin falls and everybody else goes with it. Again, so I think not a bad time to be keeping powder dry, right? If we're going to get that seasonal push, maybe it's coming November. It's not guaranteed, right? We can't, bank on it, literally. But I certainly would be watching closely for signs of strength. So there we go. I got Bitcoin, I got ETH, I got Cardano. Nothing else looks good. Nothing. I went through a lot, right? Most of them, they're all still recovering from that massive wick. Oh God, if I just show you an example. Oh, well, here's Hedera, right? They all kind of look the same, right? We just have this massive wick. So, in fact, you can see it just down here, right? What do you do, right, with that wick, right? It's an aberration, right? So you almost have to do it this way, right? Just working off of line closes. Or you still get a read on the count. W looks like X, and we're working towards a Y down here. But as soon as you put this in, right, it completely distorts it. So you almost have to ignore it, which is essentially what I'm doing right here. It doesn't destroy it here. In fact, actually, if I have this on here, right, you can still get a pretty good read on the market. ABC. Now, ABC, or are we still in an ABC with more to go? That's what it looks like to me. It looks like we're about to do this and then go. So crypto is on hold temporarily, right? The bull is on hold, it would appear. New week coming. We got through a lot of the macro backdrop. All of the big geopolitical issues seem to be resolving. We're through the Fed meeting, all right? So let's see how we look going into November. I think things are going to start to improve, but that's a think, not a no. There is no knowing. So we'll wait and see. We'll just take it 1 week, one swing, one impulse at a time. So I'm going to keep it short today. How about that for a change? For all you guys go, God, this guy talks too much. Well, here you go. There's one for you. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll be back next week. Have a good weekend.